Hello and good morning, listeners. Welcome back to Almus Market Mornings, your daily dose of global financial updates. I'm your host, Swaraj Rajagopal, and we have got you covered on everything from currency shifts to pivotal central bank decisions and important speeches. Plus, you'll gain expert analysis on macroeconomic data that's shaping the market narrative right now. Join us for this episode and navigate the markets with confidence. It is the FOMC week, and participants will be keenly paying heed to what the Fed Chair Jay Powell says in his press conference post the rate decision, assessing their bets on September rate cut. Going into the FOMC, job market has been weaker, inflation has been subdued, though the PCE showed some minor increase on a month-on-month basis, and Fed members, moreover, have been somewhat dovish. Good morning, JK. Your thoughts on PCE on Friday and the upcoming week?
Hey, good morning. Yes, PCE, of course, came slightly higher on the month-on-month, but overall, the number is within the range that should not cause alarms in the Fed. But interestingly, significantly, we are into a very, very busy week packed with a lot of schedules, and we have labor data, starting tomorrow from the US economy, and we have inflation numbers and GDP numbers from Eurozone. Finally, Friday, we have the non-farm payroll, all important number for the policy direction. Then in the space of 32 hours, starting on Wednesday at 8:30 a.m., we have three major central banks meeting. BOJ followed by Fed and then the BOE. And the call is very close. Of course, not that the Fed is going to act on that day, but their indication, or rather forward guidance on September, is going to be very important. BOJ, there can be a rate move, but market is divided on this. Knowing the normal gradualist move that BOJ adopts, I think they will hold off, but definitely there will be a cut in the QE. They will also probably indicate, when they are likely to move on the rates. And then, of course, BOE, again, a very close call. There are clamors for rate cuts in UK. But looking at the inflation, which is still somewhat uncertain, and the cost of living, which is high, I don't know whether if BOE will be persuaded to cut a rate ahead of Fed at least. So that's the thing. And what it can do is that, if a Fed indicates a dovish September meeting, I think it can see the dollar somewhat weaken. But equally influential will be the BOJ move. So if BOJ holds up the rate, then again the yen can weaken a bit in the short term. But we are aware that the BOJ is keen on reversing the trend in the yen, very serious about that, and so eventually there will be a rate hike in the next meeting, and that's what the market will discount. So any rally in the USDN will be used for selling dollar against yen, and not only dollar but most other currencies. That is the feature now. Mainly the currency market is led more by yen moves because of carry unwinds than because of dollar. And dollar, there are conflicting factors: the Fed uncertainty in the economy, and then the politics. All these are big unknowns, and therefore the dollar itself doesn't have a big direction, but it is the yen-led moves that we are seeing that is likely to continue also. And added to that, we have the sell-off in the tech stocks in the US, which was driven by some disappointing earnings from mega caps. And although on Friday they did recover more due to some oversold conditions and also bounce in the USD. Even the yields are tending to be lower. Market is assuming three rate cuts, starting September. How far they will be realistic, we will know from the Fed's mouth today. So all this keeping dollar pairs somewhat range bound, but yen pairs are going to be more volatile and most likely take direction from what BOJ does on Wednesday. So for me, the key event will be BOJ this week, and of course the labor market data. If there's more confirmation of weakening job sector in the US, I think can be certain that September move will come from Fed. That is what the market will be looking forward to. So the labor data from US and the BOJ decision, these are the key things. For rupee, of course, on Friday we had one of the lowest ranges of less than a paisa intraday range. Uh, see, Indian markets are holding up excellently, and even today's futures indicate that the Nifty will be hitting a new high about 25,000. But at the same time, rupee is not reacting to these positive vibes in the market because there are some outflows also happening. So while the domestic investors and the retail investors are supporting the markets big time, FIs are tending to be somewhat cautious, mainly because of yen moves, and there is some carry impact on the rupee also, and the month-end demand and oil oil payments are keeping the dollar rupee at a high elevated level, and RBI is letting the rupee trade at its weakest level. So the coming days, again, rupee will take more cues from Fed, whether yen carry trade unwind continues. Otherwise, rupee has most of the factors going positive for it. Thank you.
Thank you, JK. And it is a busy week this week. There will be labor data from the US economy, inflation and growth numbers from the Eurozone, and of course, the Friday non-farm payrolls. Amongst all of this, we have a busy central bank calendar. So from Wednesday, we have the three major central bank meetings, Fed, BOE, and the BOJ. Now, BOJ is quite significant because if you remember last week, the narrative we have discussed is the carry trade unwind that has been impacting all asset classes broadly. So the BOJ rate move, though a rate move is possible, market expectations are somewhat divided for that. So we might not act. I mean, we will have to go through the meeting to see what happens. For BOE, there are calls for a rate cut in this meeting, but looking at the inflation, maybe they will just defer and not cut ahead of the Fed. And of course, as I mentioned, the BOJ meeting will be one of the important meetings to look forward to. In the US, there is a sell-off going on in the tech stocks. And for rupee, we had the lowest ranges of less than a paise. And we continue to take cues from the upcoming BOJ and BO and the Fed meeting, which will give us further direction, though the domestic stock market seems to be doing exceptionally well. That's it from us today. Thanks for listening. Tune in tomorrow for the latest in the financial markets.